And now we are going to give you a profile of an Indonesian businesswoman who is living in Singapore. She is from Kediri and has established a foundation for the migrant workers.
Singapore is a high-income economy with a gross national income of $82,807 per capita as of 2022, makes it one of the most developed countries in the world and the wealthiest country among ASEAN countries. The Lion of Asia that is known for its cleanliness, transport efficiency, diverse population, unique culture, and as a bonus, its location in Southeast Asia makes it an ideal base for exploring surrounding countries such as Malaysia and Indonesia, as well as the rest of the continent. In addition to its robust economy and job market, Singapore is a great place to live with strong economy, reputation for safety, and excellence in healthcare that offers workers a high quality of life. Singapore has 1,427,500 migrant workers, comprising 38% of its labor force. To meet the needs of sectors such as domestic work, building and infrastructure construction, as well as ship repair and construction, the country has relatively open admission policies for migrant workers, with such place regulations and mechanisms to protect them. Care to find out about the migrant workers in Singapore? Meet Enik Susilowati, the founder of Enik Employment Agency.
I came to Singapore in 1995. After I finished my high school in Indonesia, I was given a one-way ticket by my parents to pursue my education here. I met Mr. Roland, my former boss. He was also the owner of one employment agency. So he trained me at the same time I was studying at that time. I finished my diploma, my bachelor and also MBA in Singapore with the help of Mr. Roland and people around, of course, all the classmates and the community here in Singapore. Those years in early 90s or 1995, there's no handphone, there is no day off, the salary, the wages was pretty much quite low compared to right now. So giving them a good advice, what is required to be successful, to have enough money so that they can send back without getting into some issues in this country. I realized personally that I have to do something. How can I help all the Indonesian citizens? How can I help some Filipino or Myanmar? I have spoken to my former boss, Mr. Roland. Yeah, from the boss, and we were partner. And then I think in 2010, we discussed. And then Mr. Roland was so encouraging. If you ask me, there is a good boss means a boss that accelerate the staff or the worker to be independent and finally pursue being a boss herself. So Mr. Roland said, oh, why don't you pursue your education, maybe one more MBA, and then you open your own. So yeah, so exactly January 2020, license under Enik Employment Agency was issued by the MOM, Ministry of Manpower. I am recognized in the community of domestic helper in Singapore as Enik as a person, but Enik as we encourage people, nimble, and then we support all the domestic helper. This office is like their second home. There is no boundary. Everyday learning. Amazingly, the story from domestic helper every day inspire me to do better. Yes. And then from 95 until now is perseverance and discipline.
Learning from his mentor, Mr. Roland, Anik Susilowati always remember one thing: a good employer is one who could make his employees grow. That is why after 25 years of working, Anik Susilowati gained the blessing of Mr. Roland to establish her own agency. Just like wise man says, kindness is one thing you can't give away. It always comes back.
And being a good listener and able to be the mediator or the bridge between the employer and the domestic helper, so that we can solve any issue amicably, without confrontation, without any harsh word being mentioned. So yeah, and my heart is always with them. They are our raw diamond. If we guide them properly, they are our raw diamond. They are very well protected, even when they are still back home in their country. Prior to the departure, we ensure that they are medically fit, they are okay, they are healthy. We have the term and condition for employer who hiring domestic helper. There is no physical abuse. There is not allowed to work in other place other than stated on the work permit card. And then no exploitation, no moonlighting. Moonlighting means you work in another place and get extra money. And then they are not even allowed to verbally abuse them.
Anik Employment Agency treat their migrant worker quite differently compared to other agencies in Singapore. For instance, Anik Susilowati always provide her own residence to relocate the migrant worker departing from their own countries. The intention to work closely with her migrant worker employees built this special bond Anik Susilowati occupies that are not commonly found in other agencies in Singapore.
Guys, no more questions. I wish all of you all the best.
Having bigger agency with many branches may not be always a beautiful thing, because domestic helper business, it is people oriented. It's a time how we put in. It's not like a thing. So if our business is like cars, BMW, Mercedes, the more the merrier. But I personally believe that we cannot eat more than we can chew. I can always bring big numbers, but how can I put my time to look after them when challenges is needed? So yes, to grow this office into maybe add value on their skill, maybe caregivers, for example. Personally, from our office, from myself, we need to recognize that, we need to support that, and that is the way that we can appreciate them. The best, actually the best, if you ask me, the best job in the world is being a mother, like all of them. They are my hero, all our domestic helper. Each time when they share their concern or their dream, their bucket list, I used to advise them, go for it. I think it's work and life balance, and I am so blessed to have good support system at home. I have one domestic helper, her name is Masi from Kediri. She served me for many years. Her loyalty is really a star. And the boys, they are independent, thankfully. It is not the quantity time that we spend with the family, but the quality time. So we usually have dinner together. It's a must.
It's a must.
Yes, it's a must every day. And then in the morning, either me or my husband will drive them to school, even though the school only across the street. But we take the trouble to hop into the car, that 5 minutes, like a close bond conversation. That is the bonding. And then we have a timetable or schedule. Now they are 16 and 14. My husband travel around the globe as well. He's with Italian company. So aside from dinner together, usually we have a date on the weekends, on a outing meal. So the boys will decide what to eat. So the two of them will discuss and where to go with restaurant. And sometimes we take a brisk walk every evening together. So that is also a channel for us to communicate. You know, a good mom, I'm still learning. A good mom is a mom where the boys will come to you, be happy, or they are confused, or they want to make a decision. So I'm blessed. Yeah, we're born very close. We are very, very close. Office, every Sunday, Monday to Sunday is my work day. So there is no day off.
There's no day off.
Yes, but the passion that I have for them, so I don't treat this like a job. This is my hobby. So when we treat our job or career like hobby, that is where the heart and soul being put in. All the best to all the women in Indonesia, and I'm proud to be one of them. With all the empowerment that given in Singapore, women empowerment, thank you for the opportunity, and wishing them all the best with all the opportunity. The International Women Day, wishing all the women all the best. Hopefully they can show and shine what they are good at, their skill, their expertise. We are equal, and hopefully they are being given a fair chance as well. Go for it to all the lady and women in Indonesia and in Singapore.
Not only Anik Susilowati is a decent, devoted wife, an excellent mother for her 2 boys. Family comes first to women, but she is also surely a prominent role model for her migrant worker employees from Indonesia, Philippines, and Myanmar, maybe more. Apart from that, Anik Susilowati still makes use of her time to facilitate her employees in their leisure time to do whatever talent they have, like cooking, sport, dancing, singing, and other skills they might have. Just like another wise man says, the best people are those who can be useful to many people.
Yes, very inspiring. And she really wants to have this goal to empower women, especially Indonesian women living abroad in Singapore, to have the jobs with their certain skills, like even dancing too.
Yes, and you know, those are some of the things that are probably not cultivated enough. And so knowing that there is someone, a public figure, who takes the initiative in order to train these women especially, I think that's incredibly noble as well, knowing that, you know, many people when they go abroad, they might feel a sense of a loneliness or inability to know, how do I have skills so that I can also work in a foreign country. And so I truly enjoyed seeing that story, Aisha.
Yeah, that's true. And also one other thing is how the importance of like women support women, and not only that, but Indonesians support other Indonesians living abroad. That's so inspiring.
Yes.
So we really hope that there are more like Ibu Anik in other countries as well. And we'll have more stories too for you. We will be back after the break.